Yo, what's up? It's the one and only HIPHOPGamer. Look, son, we here. The champ is here, but I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about me. God bless you, sir.
Wow, cool.
You get the belt.
Right
you gotta hold the belt. Listen, round of applause early. The first thing I want to say about FarCry 5, America.
Yeah.
We're in America.
Yeah.
And I know you gave us an amazing speech about how this game is and how deep it is, but what I want to ask you is, you talked about being afraid.
Yeah.
And being afraid actually allowed you to, get to this point with FarCry 5. So can you walk us through a little bit of that fear that allowed you to get this to where it's at today from what we saw?
I just think that when we were actually boots on the ground in Montana, we met some people that really feel like maybe a collapse is possible. We met some people that were preparing for something. And they really felt like, when they communicated with us, that maybe the end of times is coming. And when you meet somebody who really believes that, and they're preparing for it, and they're changing their lives to be able to get ready, and they left their jobs, they've built a compound or whatever else, you start to realize, man, this hits home. This is something that really could be real. It feels believable. So we built a world like that.
Yo, now I gotta tell you something. This game, from seeing the gameplay portion, there better be. Listen, I'm sorry to make demands, okay? But there better be multiplayer. It has to be. I'm gonna tell you why. When you threw the fork, the pitchfork at him, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Please let me know, like, will we have multiplayer in this game?
So we're not talking about that right now.
Okay.
But here's what you do know, is that if you look at what we did on FarCry 3 and then FarCry 4, and you just kind of imagine where we might go, if you have a good imagination, you know what you're doing.
He's good. I mean, he's great. Like, that was the hottest PR spin right there, but that was great. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and I was actually talking with Stone about this, but the graphics are phenomenal. And I know it's open world, but the graphics are truly phenomenal. We know the Scorpio's coming out later this year. Like, is it true what Microsoft is saying that y'all are able to really get 4K 60 frames per second? If so, will we see that power represented in Far Cry 5 with the Scorpio coming out later this year?
I think, to be honest, when you think about that stuff, we're not talking about the specifics of the hardware, we're not talking about the specifics of the graphics, but what I can tell you is, this team, the team that made Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, the team that contributed to Primal, the team that was building some of the best looking stuff that's out there, is pushing really hard to break all of that, to basically make it so it's the best game that you've seen in a long time. And what I wanted was that it feels like you're in Montana. We all know that feeling when you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you see the light, you have that moment in a world where you see the light, you hear the grass, you can almost smell it. We want that for Montana.
Dope.
Smell it.
Dope. I love it. Now, customization. The reason why I'm asking about this, because like looking at the game, the different characters, stuff like that, I think it'd be so dope if there was some sort of customization in this game. And there was a part where you saw the dude, I forgot his name, I think it's Ryan Rick. I know I'm messing his name up. But yeah. So he had a weapon. Nick Ryan. So he had a weapon and put it on a helicopter, and he's like getting prepared. Like, will we see that in the game? Will we have customization capabilities?
There's a ton of stuff I want to tell you.
Oh man, I'm trying.
I can't do it. But here's the thing. We wanted to make it so that you could go in any direction. So we want to make it so that you could go in any direction, be any character, and that the feeling was like, if you wanted to go do something, you can do it. So we won't talk specifically about customization, but when we were in Montana, it had a rough feel to it. It felt like we needed to kind of build stuff, we needed to make stuff. Everything was rough tools, and we want that for the player.
Okay. Now, one thing I would say about this, and I think this is super important, but when it comes to like Far Cry 5, like I said, this is obviously a passion project, considering what you had to go through to do it. Now, with Far Cry 5, do you see this potentially something that can, like if a movie company came to you and said, hey, we played this game, and it needs to be a movie because of what's going on in today's society. How would that work out?
Let's see, I'm smiling.
Yo, what? Imagine that.
It would be amazing.
Yo,
right? It'd be amazing.
Who would you want to play like the main character? If you could think of somebody on top of the head.
Who would you want?
Oh man. I don't like when questions is thrown back at me like nah, but honestly, just by looking at this, I know this may sound crazy because he's a little older, but I think someone like a Clint Eastwood would play a good role somewhere in the game, somewhere in that movie.
You know what? People are playing this game,
Yeah.
people are seeing this game, and they feel real people, they feel the pushback of the real world, they feel that it has gravity, it has weight.
Yes.
And so I think real people, tough people, I can see playing this with something like
Yes.
that. That'd be cool.
Yo, that'd be crazy. So I got 2 more questions, then we go wrap it up.
Okay.
All right, so now my next question is, from a personal, and this is more like a personal question, but like, what was the game that got you into gaming, or what was the or speak up more about the moment that you felt that this game needed to be in our industry?
That's a really good question.
Thank you, man.
You know what? The way I'll put it to you is this way, is that, it's the story that I told you before, right? When I was a kid, I had this feeling like, you know, you kind of grow up in the middle of the era of the end of the Cold War, and you have this feeling like everything's not right. Like maybe we're surfing the wave too tight, there's gonna be a collapse.
Right.
And when that ended, I felt safe. And now in the last few years, I don't know if I feel safe anymore. I don't know if the world feels like everything's gonna be okay. You get up in the morning, you turn on the news, you listen to what's happening out there, and it feels like I'm getting that feeling back from when I was a kid, like everything can kind of go the wrong way. Let's say this. The game is perfect for now. The game has that feeling that everything can just tilt and go sideways. That's why it had to be made now.
Now, last question. You talked about in 48 hours, if the world was to go hungry for 48 hours, what would happen? All the stuff, like the chaos that would break out because nobody wants to go hungry. Like, can you share with us a time, or can you share with us as a game developer, what is it like to be hungry, to see something that don't exist, but then be the person that make it reality?
Good questions, man.
Thank you,
Great
man.
questions.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We know that when we built FarCry 3, FarCry 4, and Primal, that we built this anecdote factory. We know that people love the idea that they could go out in the world and they could attack it from 360 degrees. And now when we talk about coming to America and making it feel like it's now, and meeting real people in the world, I don't know, it just feels right. I mean, we've been sitting on this thing for 2 years, waiting to show everybody, and now we have a chance. We're hungry to show them, we're hungry for them to play, and hungry that maybe there's a moment where it's the right time for a certain game to come out. I feel like it is for FarCry. FarCry should be in America, should be right now.
Wow, man, look, thank you so much. Look, I love you, man. I seriously, I love you. I thank you for your work and your passion. The last thing I'm gonna say is this. Once upon a time, there was a game called Rainbow Six, and that game was supposed to be a certain way, and then because it was Rainbow Six Patriots, and then it changed to Rainbow Six Siege. I feel like this game right here, God works in mysterious ways. This game is needed now, and I truly believe that FarCry America will actually be a series to tell more stories about what's going on in America and beyond. You guys just literally changed the game and increased the power of the Ubisoft brand. Love you guys.
Thanks,
it's your boy HipHopGamer. One love and God bless. On your hot 9-7 every day. That's my word. FarCry 5 America. We out.